All right, everybody, I'm California. These are top 10 records that you need in your record collection that are in heavy rotation at my house right now. All right, so if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. There'll be more as we move forward, but right now, let's get into this stack right here. Number 10, Milky Chance, Sad Necessary. This album is fire. If you don't know about it, you probably do. There's a song on here called Stolen Dance. It was all over the radio a while back. These guys are pretty crazy. Not from a punk rock or rock stage, but they're pretty, I don't know if you call it emo or what, alternative. They're really good. This is a gatefold record. When I get a brand new record, if it's gatefold and the shrink hasn't been removed, it's because it's new or has a hype sticker, I don't like to open it. I'm a freak about my records, and I don't really care. But if it's that important to you guys, you can look it up online. You can see the pictures inside. A lot of times I'll have the CD too, but here's the record. You can see we got a couple really good tracks on here. The very first one on side A is Stunner. I like that one a lot. Down by the River is the first song on the second one, and that Stolen Dance song, although it's the radio hit, it's still a banger. Number 9, one of my favorites. If I was going to do a top 10 of first albums, this would be on the list for sure. What do we have? Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill. Ad Rock's my favorite, of course. This album really defined hip hop and took it to the mainstream. You have some really good jams on here. Fight for Your Right is the standout that kind of everybody knows. Slow and Low is my favorite. Rhymin' and Stealin', Posse in Effect, and Paul Revere, which is just badass. That was the very first song that I kept rewinding and rewinding and rewinding on tape that my friend let me use so I could learn all the words. I did. Here's a little story. You got it. I mean, you look in here and you see Mike D. He's got this badass digital Casio watch. How dope is that? And of course, R.I.P. MCA. He ain't with us no more. Get it. Get it. Coming in next at number 8. Prince, Purple Rain. That's right, R.I.P. to Prince too, right? So this is the movie soundtrack from the movie Purple Rain. Really good movie. Kind of cool about the music industry, and you got Morris Day and the Time in there, and you have Vanity, which is pretty cool. But this album to me is my favorite Prince one. It's got all my favorite jammers on here. It's got that song Darling Nikki, which is great. Foo Fighters did a cover of that, not as good as Prince, but they did a really good rock version. Take Me With You, Let's Go Crazy, and Purple Rain, probably in my top 5 songs of best songs of all time. Starts off slow, goes fast, badass guitar solo, a lot of emotion in that song. Really, really good stuff. Purple Rain, better know about it. Next up, a lot of people probably don't know this record. If you do, high five. All right, we have The Cure, Happily Ever After. Double album. This is the pretty rare one that's on 17 Seconds record label, 1980, right? So this has a forest on it. It's got the song 17 Seconds, In Your House, A Reflection. A Forest is definitely one of my favorite songs of all time. That bass line at the beginning is just fire. I don't know if you really get much better than that. This is, before emo or anything like that. Cure is kind of what's been popping off for that genre for me pretty much forever. I don't know what these flag girls are doing on the front. Maybe they're spelling out The Cure. Maybe they're listening to A Forest. Coming up next, we got my boy, Yelawolf, right? Yelawolf is kind of like a southern rapper, country rock guy. He's kind of the perfect mix between Kid Rock and Eminem. He spits harder than Eminem, but maybe he doesn't have as good country songwritings as Kid Rock. I'm not a country guy. I do like Kid Rock, but this guy, Yelawolf, this is a badass album. This is the first album, or the second album that he put out while he was on Eminem's label. It starts off with Outer Space. That's a fire track. You know, starts off kind of sounds Knight Rider-ish, and he just gets right into it. He spits pretty hard. Devil in My Veins is one of my favorite slow jam tracks. He's not even rapping, he's just kind of singing, which is pretty rare for a rapper southern guy like this, but he kind of encompasses it all. You got Best Friend featuring Eminem, probably top 10 Eminem verses of all time. My son and I love that track. My son really likes this Empty Bottles track. You know, there's just so many good songs on here that it's hard to pick one. This really can go from the beginning to the end, and it's great. Once again, Gatefold, not gonna do it for you, sorry. We'll put some links below, and maybe you can see those pictures. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it when we add it. Heavy rotation at my house. You got Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Okay, this is the Night Moves album. A lot of people know that Night Moves song. I think there was even a movie maybe called Night Moves, I don't remember, but this is 1976. This is an OG copy. I don't even know if they re-released it, but rock and roll never forgets. Damn right we don't. I never forget how dope this album is. I said it before, I'll say it again. I put this record on sometimes and let it go from side A to B, from A to B, and maybe A to B again. That's how good it is. It's just so good. It's just really classic rock and roll. To me, this is what it is for me. I love it, I love it. Next up, alternative band maybe a little emo-ish, I'm not sure, but Greg Dooley and the Afghan Wigs. This album, Gentlemen, is just amazing. I mean, there's just so many good tracks on here, and this is the 180 gram vinyl repress. It's really good. I saw these guys open up for, or I saw these guys at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, really good. And you know, every song they do is just really good. Greg Dooley's voice is a little strange. It's almost off key, but the whole album is so good that it starts to become in key, if you kind of know what I mean. It sounds really good, it's strange, but before you know it, you're a fan. Afghan Wigs, Gentlemen. This, the greatest freshman album of all time. You may not agree, but maybe you don't know. Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. This album kicks you in the face the second that Welcome to the Jungle comes on, and it doesn't let up until the very last song. Every song on here is a banger. Rocket Queen, My Michelle, both two of my favorites. Night Train, so good. Paradise City, of course, and Sweet Child of Mine, everybody knows that one. But Welcome to the Jungle and everything on this album still holds up. Who sings like Axl, right? I mean, nobody. Nobody is hitting it just like that. Such a good album, get it. My second favorite album of all time, Dramarama, Cinema Verite. Okay, this is such a good album, and everybody knows that song, Anything, Anything. It's on heavy rotation since it came out, and this just keeps getting better and better. This has a song, Emerald City, on it, which is so good. It's just piano. I've seen these guys 3 times, it's so good. I even have an autograph right here that I got from our boy John Easdale, the lead singer and songwriter. You know, I saw him outside of the club after we played. All I had was this little piece of paper. He signed it for me, drew a little happy face. He was happy, I was happy. This has a really good Bowie cover song on it called Candidate, and I like it better than the Bowie version. Oops, yeah, I said it, better than the Bowie version. Go out and get this. Every song on here is good. Candidate is my favorite. Emerald City is my second favorite on this album. And yes, Anything, Anything is good, and that's the first song I learned how to play on guitar. My buddy taught it to me, and I still love it. That guitar riff, fire. We're now at the number 1. The number 1 for fun, we have my boy, Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Not the digital remastered version. This is OG copy and my favorite record in my entire collection. And you know why? 1, I got it from my friend who was working at Interscope at the time when Pac was there. 2, it's got this gold stamp, promo copy only. Super rare. You never see this anywhere. All right, there's 4 vinyls in here, and this one was already open before I got it, so I'll show you the inside. We got all these great photos. Pac during his photo shoot during his time at death row, right when he got out of prison and recorded this masterpiece. This is the hip hop Bible, hands down. Nobody can touch this album. Anybody. Starts off with ambitions as a writer. It's got 2 of America's Most Wanted with Snoop Dogg, California Love, which he dropped. When I heard that on the radio, they played it like 8 times in a row. That's how fire that was. I've never even heard of that before. They were just Pac's out of jail. Here we go. Can't See Me, Holler at Me, Picture Me Rolling, All Eyes on Me. Gee, I mean, it just goes from track to track to track to track to track. This is what's up. Better go get it. And if you can find a copy that's not the digitally remastered, please do. Please do. Please support the original. This is 1995. West Coast. You know we love it out here in California. That's it. We'll be coming back next time around. So watch for it. Hit the subscribe if you want to be alerted. West Coast.